Hey everybody, and welcome to another deck guide. And even though you can't see me, I'm actually not alone. Travis is with me here today. I was going to record this video alone, but Travis is here, and we're going to talk about this deck because he actually brought this deck to me, and I have built my own version of it. However, the one I wanted to showcase in this deck guide was actually Travis's deck for it, because I think it's really cool. Let me just, before I get ahead of myself. So, this Finn deck allows Finn to play a strong Flex Investigator. This deck is super versatile in its construction, allowing you to modify this deck to fight or investigate more as needed. This Dark Horse Finn deck has made me realize that Finn is probably actually one of the best users of Dark Horse. His stat line is really good with it. It becomes
2 5 stats is pretty
two
good.
5s and then a 4 in his fist. It's like the peak flex style for it. And what's really cool, as I said, is it's versatile. You can build your deck as you want. My version looked a lot different than Travis for some reasons, but it's a really strong core that you can adapt to as you want. So before we get to the deck, I'm just going to talk about these are the expansions that are required for both the level 0 deck and the fully upgraded deck. Mm-hmm. There's only 24 experience in the final upgrade here, so there's more things you can do. This is kind of like everything.
Yeah, if you do better, you can it's the core of the deck, right? It's what makes it work.
Yeah, it's all the pieces you need to have it function. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, these are the things here. This one's a little bit tough. Some of them are a little bit harder to replace. One thing to note is that the star on Path to Carcosa is actually Lockpicks level 1, which is also in the revised core set, so that's why the star is there. If you don't have Path to Carcosa, but you have the revised core, you're good to go.
Nice.
The level 0 deck here, this is it's not too crazy, and actually the Dark Horse package is going to stay pretty focused throughout this whole thing. It's these 5 cards, because you can have up to 5 level 0 and Seeker or Survivor cards. So 2 Dark Horses, obviously, 2 Mariner's Compass, and Track Shoes. A lot of times you see in Dark Horse that people are going to run Fire Axe, but you don't really need that here because Finn actually has some pretty nice weapons to work with.
The Trusty 38 and the 25 automatic are both fantastic weapons for him.
Yeah. Lockpicks to grab clues, lucky cigarette case, because you're probably going to be succeeding by 2.
Yeah, you get a lot of stats with this deck. You get to pass foot tests a lot.
Yes. Yeah, and that's also where the track shoes comes in, and when you can get an extra foot, so now you're at 6 foot, so you can easily get a test every turn to pass by. Do you want to know my new shame that I'm openly admitting to people?
Okay.
For track shoes, I thought you had to have an enemy engage you, or would engage you to do the ability.
What?
I've only played track shoes with Rita. I don't know why, but I just always thought that you had to have an enemy engage you before you jumped over them.
That's weird.
Yeah, but they seem sick now that I know that they actually work as.
No, you can just run.
Yeah, it's just like a shortcut
in
your card. But yeah, so I'm excited to play track shoes again with this new knowledge. But as you can see here, this works really well with Lucky Cigarette Case because you get a free test that you'll probably succeed by 2 each turn. Tennessee Sour Mash to help protect you during the Mythos phase. Pickpocketing, as Travis said, you're going to be doing a lot of evading. Why not turn that into a card or a resource?
Yeah, and the cards are important for this deck because those are that's the resource you care about. You know, you're playing Dark Horse, you're going to sit with 0 resources all game. So you need a way to get cards so you can keep doing things. Yeah.
You handle this one to protect yourself in the Mythos phase. Faustian Bargain, which is a great economy card for multiple reasons, which we'll get into when we start talking about some individual cards. Slip Away is, I know Travis likes that card, especially in Finn. It works really well here. You're going to be evading at 10, which is kind of crazy.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. And then Sneak By to give you some resources if you need them, because sometimes you need to, the 25 automatic costs 4, and your Dark Horse costs 3. So there are things that you're going to need to put into play.
It also commits for 2 foots, which is really nice, especially for passing the cigarette case and the quick thinking and nimble tests.
Yeah. Going to the skills, we have Guts, Nimble, Quick Thinking, Unexpected Courage. Pretty standard stuff. You might be thinking, but normally we don't recommend running Guts here in a Finn deck, but you're going to have 2 Brain with Dark Horse, which puts you up to 4, which is a pretty comfortable number.
You have really solid options for getting your brain up there with between the Guts, Unexpected Courage, Tennessee Sour Mash.
Yeah. And then also it's a one-of, and sometimes your one-ofs just, It can just be a guts. Going to the upgraded version of the decks, a lot of just kind of upgrades here for the most part.
Yeah.
So 25 automatic goes into the much better version for Finn because now you also get a free attack out of it. Lockpicks that don't break, even though you're going to be pretty hard pressed to break them unless you draw the auto fail in this deck.
Yep.
But it's still nice to not have your lockpicks break.
Even then, they're mostly there to get you your card draw every turn with the Lucky Cigarette case, whereas you're going to be using the Mariner's Compass more for like your actual investigating actions.
Yeah, and on that note, as Travis and I said, this is like not the full version of the deck. This is only 24 XP. Your Lucky Cigarette cases could be upgraded really easily here and taken full advantage of those as well.
Yeah.
Hired Muscle is the ally that comes in here, and I think that's particularly juicy, which we'll get to when we go to the individual card pages. Hard Knocks is a resource sink, which we'll also talk about more in a second. And then the upgraded Tennessee Sour Mash is also really nice because of reasons that we'll also get to when we talk about cards in detail. There's also a Justify the Means, which is the other thing that was added, which notably has gotten rid of the Guts and one of the Unexpected Courages, it looks like, just on the simple breakdown, which is...
it's just those but better.
Yeah, those but better. So let's go into cards individually here.
One thing I want to talk about,
yeah,
because I'm pretty sure on the slide for it, is Smuggled Goods is actually very, very strong in this deck. You can use it to find your 25 automatic. You can use it to find like a weapon in your 25 automatic or the Trusty 38. You can use it to find something to investigate better in the lockpicks. You can use it to find a defensive tool in the Tennessee Sour Mash. Like it's a lot better than it usually is.
That's fair, yes, because it looks like even just on those you have 3, 5, 7 hits, which means you're probably going to hit something when you go for it. If only those track shoes were illicit.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, Dark Horse. This is the titular card of the deck. It provides a boost to all of Finn's stats. When you don't have any resources in your resource pool, your stats become 2, 5, 4, 5, which, as Travis said, 2 5s is pretty strong.
That's a lot.
The willpower isn't impressive. It's fine. It's serviceable. Like, it's better than 1. But the other 3 stats are very good. And then luckily we have plans for our resources, so you can still easily gain them during the upkeep phase. Because one thing that's like really tricky about Dark Horse decks is, one, having a way to spend your resources when you get them. But the other thing is that you want to keep, like, for example, a Lucky active into the Mythos phase. However, you're going to be tested on Brain during the Mythos phase. But with Finn, you kind of just don't have to care about that as much.
Yep.
You can just get the resource and then use it for other things and not worry about going from 1 to 2 in the Mythos phase.
Yep. It's also a little bit awkward sometimes with Dark Horse when you get Dark Horse as like the first part of your little package and you draw your Mariner's Compass after, and then you're like, I need money for this.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give up my stats.
Mariner's Compass allows us to use any excess resource tokens we have to pump up our book for an investigation. In addition, having no resources, which we want, by the way, will grant us an additional clue when we use Mariner's Compass. So if you really wanted to do more flex fighting Finn, you could replace, like, these could be fire axes, but as we said, he has a lot of good weapons that are already there.
Yep.
And sometimes as the flex, what's most important you can do is when there's downtime, just grab 2 clues.
Yep.
Yeah. Hard Knocks is another resource sink for other relevant stats. Travis can actually explain this because I put this here from his notes, but Travis chose Hard Knocks over Streetwise because the Compass provides the book sync in our deck, and Hard Knocks also has great symbols that can be committed to a test as well.
Yeah, it's a card you don't have to play. It supports your foot tests and your fist tests if you have resources laying around. And the Mariner's Compass already gives us extra book for the test that you don't need extra book for your lockpicks test.
You don't. You
really you're going to
don't.
be testing at 10.
Yeah.
Like 11 if you've got your track shoes. Yeah, it's just, it fits in really nicely here, actually.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, too, that it's also free, yeah, which is huge as well. And then another thing, too, is that sometimes in a pinch, having a cheap way to just get 1 extra fist can be the difference between a pass or a fail for a test.
Yeah, but it won't be 1 extra fist, it'll be 2. Because they'll turn on your Dark Horse.
Exactly. It's always 1 more than you expect.
Yeah.
Hired Muscle. So this could easily be replaced with Treasure Hunter if you want a more investigation-focused Finn, but Hired Muscle works great for a combat-focused Finn. So these guys...
If you get lots of physical trauma early
in the campaign. Or if you get lots of physical trauma early in the campaign.
May have been what happened to me.
But if that's the case, then this guy came in, you actually just cracked this. This is the reason when I was making this, why I was like, dang. this is really cool. So something really great about Hired Muscle in this deck is that you can choose to gain the resource in your upkeep phase. And then at the end of the upkeep phase, you pay off Hired Muscle, effectively giving you +2 Fist. It pays for itself every turn, and your Dark Horse stays active. This also works really well for the book. And when you have a Hired Muscle out, and like say you don't have anything else, you now have, like in Dark Horse, you have 2 brain and then 5 in your other 3 stats. That's kind of wild.
Yep.
That's kind of crazy. And then, as I said, this could be replaced with Treasure Hunter if you want to do an investigation Finn. But what's next? Because this Finn is a flex Finn, having both of these tools as needed is great. 25 automatic allows you to kill any threats that may come up, taking advantage of Finn's free evade in the process. And Lockpicks provides an easy clue a turn, which is likely good enough for a flex investigator. And Lockpicks also provides you another clue getting option for your opening mulligan if Mariner's Compass isn't there. And then also your smuggled goods, as you said, can help find these as needed.
Yep, the Lockpicks itself is also, again, very strong for turning on all your Succeed by X effects.
Yep.
It's like an even freer clue if you have a quick thinking to commit to it, and you get an extra card off of your Lucky Cigarette case, and everything's great, man.
Yeah, and even this thing, as I wrote here, where getting a clue a turn is usually good enough for a flex investigator, you still have 5 book when all thing is said and done.
Yep.
So you can just, like, if there's a 3-shroud location, you can just, like, do it.
Yep.
Just do it.
The 25 automatic also is very synergistic with Finn. That turns your free evade into a free attack.
Whoa, that's a good deal.
It's a great deal.
That's a great deal. Not only Faustian Bargain is a great card in any deck, it's even greater here. And you might be like, how the heck is this even better? But in this deck, Faustian Bargain is an economy card that gives you exactly what you need for your assets, allowing you to keep your Dark Horse active. The resources you don't need can be given to your teammates, and they'll thank you for it.
Yeah, if you look at the list, there's actually, it's like a pretty pricey list.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Like the Sour Mashes cost 2, I think.
Two
for the green one, I think. It's 2 or 3, this is an amount.
It's 3. There we go.
Okay. The gun costs 4.
Yeah.
Lockpicks cost 3.
Dark Horse costs 3.
Dark Horse costs 3. Compass costs 3.
Yeah.
Track Shoes costs 3. And like sometimes you just want resources to dump into your Mariner's Compass or your Hard Knocks bill to pass test. And this allows you to take exactly the amount that you want and give away the rest. And even if you're having a great time, you don't need any resources, you've got a net free action, give someone else a bunch of resources.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty, and this is also, as I said earlier, why I think Dark Horse Finn might be one of the best uses of Dark Horse. Because the green card pool works really well with it.
Surprisingly well.
Yeah. Tennessee Sour Mash gives you protection in the Mythos phase and also provides a weapon to smash enemies with. When it's empty, with Dark Horse active, this card gets you 5 brain for the Mythos phase, which is kind of like Finn at
You're
that
like
point.
a real investigator, man.
Because then at that point you have like 5 in all your stats. Oh my god. Justify the Means is in this deck for dealing with threatening Mythos cards from the Mythos deck. It's basically like a panic button that ensures you won't fall prey to a poorly timed brain test or a frozen in fear.
Yeah, you're late in the game and you draw Rotting Remains or whatever the allegatory is, and you're just if I draw the alpha, I'm dead. You just don't.
Yeah, and because you're going to be taking a lot of tests in this deck, you can eat those curse tokens really easily as well.
Yeah. You can even throw in like one of the for 2 experience between this and Faustian Bargain, one of the covenants.
Yeah, definitely.
To help mitigate that a bit.
Yeah. That's basically the deck. That's all the notable cards that were in it as well. I think this deck's really sick. My version, I played 2 players, so my version was very clue heavy.
Mine was a 4-player one.
Yeah, so
I could kind of do what I want a little bit.
I do think it works best as a flex because there's just the card pool really welcomes that. But the card's really fun. Even if you're not into like Dark Horse as an archetype, I think that this deck's just really cool and really fun and worth trying out.
Yeah, the fact that I played a green deck and told someone else that they should play it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I mean, I think Finn is probably one of your more played green characters.
Yes, I played him twice.
Twice. Yeah. I mean, Finn's cool. He's a cool investigator. There's a lot there's more you can do with him to take advantage of this. Like, with his 5 cards, hopefully it'll open up even more archetypes for him. This is pretty cool. It's a great deck. I think you should give it a shot. Huge thank you to our patrons and for everyone who's watching this video. we'll be back for another deck list soon. These kind of just come up whenever I have a deck that I think is cool and I want to show you guys. So hopefully we'll see another one soon. But in the meantime, you guys have a good one. And thanks, Travis, for bringing this Finn deck to me because I think it's really cool.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. All right, have a good one, everybody. See you soon. Bye.